Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I want to talk about something we deal with whether we like it or not. It's about pressure. Pressure to fit in, pressure to keep people happy, pressure to just go along with what everyone else is doing. And the question is always the same. Do you conform or do you stand your ground? I'm going to walk through two real feeling scenarios today. One about academic honesty and one about teamwork, and break down the ethics, the psychology, and how to actually handle the conflict that comes with standing firm. Let's get into it. So here's the first scenario. I was in high school where cheating is basically baked into the culture. Her classmates share answers. The teacher is strict. The teacher is strict but doesn't catch it because it's all done quietly. Emma personally values academic and integrity, but she's feeling that pull that if I don't join in, am I going to get left out feeling? Let's start with the ethics of it. What standards should Emma actually be holding onto here? I think it really comes down to academic honesty and fairness. Academic honesty means her grades should actually reflect what she knows, not what she copied of something else, someone else. And fairness matters too, because if some students are cheating and others aren't, that's not a level playing field anymore. The people doing the work honestly are the ones getting punished for it. In a weird way, in a weird way. And there's a personal integrity piece to it. Piece too. If Emma cheats, she's not just risking getting caught, she's compromising her own sense of who she is. So Emma conformed to the cheating or hold her ground. Honestly, she shouldn't conform. But let's say hypothetically, she did go along with it. What kind of conformity would that actually be? I say that's compliance. And here's why. Compliance is when you change your behavior on the outside, but your beliefs on the inside don't actually shift. Emma already said she's committed to academic integrity, so if she cheated anyway, it wouldn't be because she suddenly believes cheating is fine. It would purely be to avoid sticking out or facing social pushback from her classmates. That's a textbook definition of compliance. To dig a little deeper on that, is it compliance, internalization, or identification? It's not internalization, because internalization means she genuinely start believing cheating is justified, or nothing in her character suggests that. It's not identification either, because identification is more about wanting to be like a person or group you admire. And Emma isn't shown admiring the cheaters. She's just not to be. She's just trying not to be excluded by them. So compliance is really the only one that fits. Now, if Emma wants to actually deal with this, not just silently resist, but address it with her peers directly, what's what's the best way to handle that conflict? I'd say collaborating with the strongest approach. Collaborating means both sides needs to get put on the table and you look for a solution that actually works for everyone instead of one side just winning. So instead of calling people out aggressively, which is more of competing style, Emma could have could have an honest conversation, something like, "Hey, I got that this class is stressful. Hey, I get that this class is stressful, but I don't want to risk both of us getting caught. Can we study together instead?" That keeps her integrity intact, but it doesn't burn the relationship either. Okay, that's Emma. Now let's switch gears to totally different kind of pressure, not about honesty, but about workload. So Alex in the group project, the Alex is in a group project. The group is tight knit. They really value hard teamwork, but somehow Alex keeps ending up with more than his fair share of the work. He prefers working independently, and he's starting to feel overwhelmed. Now he's stuck deciding push back and risk friction or just keep absorbing the extra work to keep the peace. Ethically, what should Alex be thinking of there here about here? I'd say it's fairness and equitable contribution. In a group project, everyone's supposed to be pulling their own weight. It's not fair for Alex to end up doing more just because he's reliable or because he's less likely to complain. At the same time, Alex doing more just because he's real. Uh, at the same time, Alex also has to think about his own well-being. Well, being a team player doesn't mean sacrificing your own limits indefinitely. So Alex keep conforming to what the group expects, or should he assert his own preferences? I think he needs to assert himself, at least partially. But if he does end up conforming and taking on more work, what type of conformity is that? I'd like to say that that's identification, not compliance. And here's the distinction. Identification happens when you adjust your behavior because you want to align with a group's values or seen as part of that group, even if it's not your natural preference. Alex isn't just trying to avoid awkward moments like Emma was. He's in a group that clearly values teamwork as part of its identity. And he might take on more work because he wants to be seen as a true team player, even though deep down he prefers working solo. To rule out the other options, it's not really compliance, because compliance is more about short term social avoidance, and this feels like something more tied to the group's ongoing culture. And it's not internalization either, because Alec doesn't actually believe heavy collaboration in better is better. He said himself he prefers independent work, so identification fits it is the best fit. Now how should Alex handle this if he wants to fix the workload imbalance without blowing up the team dynamic? I recommend compromising. Compromising is when both sides give a little to land on a middle ground. Alex isn't trying to dominate the conversation. That would be competing, and he's not just accepting the situation either. That's accommodating. What he probably needs is direct conversation where he says something like, "I'm happy to contribute, but I think the workload needs to be split more evenly so it's sustainable for me." That's compromise. He keeps contributing, but on terms that are fairer to him. So to wrap up, two different scenarios, two different kinds of pressure. Emma was about honesty and resisting compliance, driven peer pressure where collaborating was the way to address it without conflict. Alex was about fairness and workload, where identification was driving his behavior and compromising was the healthiest way to fix it. The the bigger takeaway here is professionalism isn't about avoiding conflict altogether. It's about knowing your own values, recognizing why you're tempted to conform, and choosing a conflict style that protects both the relationship and your own integrity. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you on to the next one.